there's always a lot of discussion on these guitar forums and these YouTube videos. Guys interested in getting that old ZZ Top sound that they were getting back in the early 70s on the first 3 albums, particularly the first 2 that were really organic and just almost straight, guitar and amp through most of those songs. And we know that back in the day they were recorded, those first 2 records were recorded back at Tyler, Texas, at a studio called Robin Hood Studios. And of course Billy played his famous 59 Les Paul that we now know as Pearly Gates. Probably some pretty heavy strings, way heavier than we would use today. And I think they were running straight into a Marshall 100-watt super lead. I believe that's what it was, or something very close to that. And I think micing it with a single Shure SM57 mic. That's that old classic tone. Now, of course, we all don't have Pearly Gates, and we don't have a 100-watt Marshall. And if we did, we couldn't play it in a house. So I've got several amps here, and the prerequisite is that it's got to sound pretty close to something Billy Gibbons did. And I never worry about the clean tones. You can always get a good clean tone in a Fender and basically anything, but it's that old ZZ Top sound that I'm always interested in. Now, I ran across a little jewel the other day, and it's called a Supro, S-U-P-R-O, Supro 1610 RT Comet. It's just a nice little amp. This is a little 6-watt. It runs up to a 14-watt, and I ran across this little amp in Memphis the other day, and after just a couple of seconds I knew that it had that tone, and then I just couldn't leave the store without it. So, but one of the beauties is not only that it gets that tone, we got the tone without really any tweaking at all. We turned it up to 10, the volume, and the tone up to 10, and that's what you're hearing now. This is a 10 volume and a 10 tone, and only a 6-watt. Now, there's a little Sterling ST69 tube mic I've got hanging over it, but that's just what I'm using when I record it into my little DAW here. What we're doing now is just straight off the little iPhone mic. But anyway, we don't have to have Pearly Gates and 12-gauge strings or whatever he was using and a 100-watt Marshall to get close to that sound. And I'm going to do a few little riffs from those first 2 records to illustrate that. And of course, I'm always trying to replicate that sound, and you can get it, and it seems the higher the volume, the closer you can come. But one of the beauties of this little Supra, it's a 6-watt. And it's perfect for a little home studio. You can crank it wide open on 6 or 14 watts and not drive the neighbors crazy. You can also take it into, if you got a little bedroom studio, you can crank it up pretty good in there without driving everybody in the house crazy too. So it's just lots of great things to be said for this little Supro Comet. So I will go ahead and play some licks here. This is on full volume and full tone on a 6-watt. Well, there you have it. The little jewel known as the Supro 1610 RT Comet. That's a 6-watt you were listening to. Check it out. It's a great little amp. You can find them used at eBay and Guitar Center and different websites. It's a super little amp. Hope you enjoyed the demonstration, and if you get one, I think you will enjoy your Supra and how close you can come to that old sound. You crank this thing up like I mentioned, and you'll sound so close to 22-year-old Billy Gibbons, it'll scare you. Hope you guys enjoyed it.